Hey, everybody. I wanted to just share as we're going through the book of Psalms, as we're reading through it, we got daily readings. I know the Psalms can be tricky. There can be some difficulty sometimes because they can be so poetic. And sometimes it's hard to kind of figure out how do I apply this? I always want to give you three different ways you can try reading the Psalms. These are three different ways that I will mix it up sometimes and read it differently. So this isn't the only way to read the Psalms for sure, but these are just three practical ways to do it. The first way is to pray as you go through it. And so what I mean by that is you use it as a launching pad for prayer. So what I would suggest doing is read the psalm all the way through and just get a feel for what kind of psalm it is. So for example, Psalm 51, read it all the way through and get a feel for this. What's this about? This is a psalm where David is confessing his sin, where he's acknowledging his need for God's purification, God's cleansing, God's forgiveness. And so get a feel for it, read it through, and then go back and read it slowly. And as you read it slowly, as things pop out at you, you pray. So, for example, have mercy on me, O God, according to your unfailing love, according to your great compassion, blot out my transgressions, wash away all my iniquity, and cleanse me from my sin. So you might pause there and go, Lord, yeah, cleanse me from my sin. Bring to mind sin that I need to confess to you, and wash it away. Wash me clean of my shame, my guilt. Thank you for your forgiveness. Thank you that you paid for my sin on the cross. And you might just spend some time doing that. Maybe you'll even pray for others. Um, and then you move on. For I know my transgressions, and my sin is always before me. Against you, you only have I sinned and done evil in your sight. So then you might stop and go, you know what, Lord? Yeah, I'm sorry. I sinned against you. What I did, snapping at that person yesterday at the store, that was really, there was anger in my heart because I had a control problem yesterday, and that was me putting myself on the throne of my heart. So, Lord, I'm sorry for doing that. You're the one who should be on the throne. You're the one who's in control. I shouldn't demand that I get to be in control of the day, and when people get in my way, I snap at them. Forgive me for that. And you just walk through it and pray. Let it be a launching pad. That's one way. A second way to read it is to look for the themes and journal. So it's kind of a little more heady. So, for example, in Psalm 34, here's one example. As I was reading this, the word fear jumped out at me a few times. I read it through, I noticed the word fear, and then I went back and journaled. I made a note. So, for example, verse 4 says, I sought the Lord, and he answered me. He delivered me from all my fears. Verse 7 says, the angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him, and he delivers them. So, jumped out at me. Wait a second. So, in one place, it says God's going to deliver us from our fears. In another place, it says God protects those who actually fear him. So, there's a good fear, there's a bad fear. There's a fear that God wants us to have, and there's a fear that God wants to rescue us from. Come, my children, this is verse 11. Come, my children, listen to me. I will teach you the fear of the Lord. Oh, now there's this instruction that's going on. I want you to grow in the fear of the Lord. So I just wrote those verses down and started journaling about them. What's the relationship between us having a fear of God and then being rescued from our fear of other things? That's one way to do it. You look for themes and then you can kind of journal about it. What's this psalm saying in regards to this theme? And then there's a third way, and this again, there's not only three ways. These are just some suggestions. This is new to me. This third way is new to me, and that's to try singing the psalm. Um, so Pastor Bill turned me on to this, and I'm not a singer. I can barely carry a tune, and I certainly can't make up a tune for a psalm written thousands of years ago. We don't really know what the tune was. But I have tried doing that, reading it out loud and doing it to some kind of tune in my head. And there is a power to that. There is a power of trying to sing this psalm out loud. There is something about it that um, adds, I would say, fuel to the praise. Like you can certainly just read it out loud as a praise, but when you try to sing it, there's something about it that hits your emotions differently. And that's just kind of entering into the world of the psalmist who, probably was singing it, probably wrote it to be sung. So it's a chance for us to enter in there. So those are just three practical ways of reading. Pastor Bill's got another blog coming out next week, but I just wanted to throw that out there. Give it a try. Put in the comment section, hey, I tried this week. This worked for me. This didn't work for me. This was confusing to me. We'd just love to hear from you. Okay, thanks.